Hey, hello. Well, welcome back again. Oh, the stream is live now. Got some music? Got something going on? Music's happening now. It's been very interesting. This week has been kind of cool. We had some interesting. I did a little traveling myself. I went and got a magazine about American Road, and I said, "Hey, mermaids! That's exactly what I need to talk about." But we're going to be doing the off night tonight, and that's pretty good. And it's like things are happening. Hey, we got some really good special people. We got somebody who's exploring the inside of the hospital these days. So we're going to get information directly from him on the quality of hospital care. So, please welcome Mr. Mark Sweetman, your host and MC.
Hey, and there's my lovely bride right there.
I love it. And the music still going.
Yeah, I got it. We've discussed this before. My title, you can see it right there on the screen, host and unqualified tech advisor, because
there you go.
I try to do all this. So when I have somebody else hosting and I can just run the board, I can do that.
Put Andy back up.
Oh, my wife wants Andy.
Guy.
My wife wants Andy back.
Hi.
All right, hold on. So I'll put Andy back up, and then I'll go into the spiel. All right.
Well, thank you. I like seeing you too. Thanks.
All right, good. And we're into this less than 2 minutes. This is the time when they tell me, I'm supposed to tell everybody to, if you're watching this on YouTube, below us here, as if you're watching it on your YouTube screen. If you're watching on TV, I don't know how to tell you this. I think that you have to hit the up button. But anyway, it's below us. There's a like button, which looks like a thumbs up. You can subscribe, which will subscribe to this channel, let you know when shows are coming up. And it helps put our numbers in up and puts us into streams when people are looking for, when they start filtering things out. Oh, I'd like to see comics talking. I'd like to see old white comics talking. I don't think anybody ever asked for that, but if they do,
anyone doing poetry with current events? I want that.
Yeah. We want old white men comics talking, and an attractive woman who reads who reads a poem about the headlines. If anybody's looking for that, they'll find it. But anyway, hit the thumbs up down below, and
I think that's so cute. That
and the subscribe button.
You still think I'm attractive?
Oh, are you kidding me? I got even if I.
He needs to get his daughters on the show. They are beautiful.
Oh well, that goes without saying. Sam's got a pretty hot daughter too. So, and if we make that a prerequisite, Andy and Jason got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Well, I may actually have some children out there I don't know about who are probably older than 40 years old, but just kidding. I'm just nah. That's why I'm not taking the 23.
See, that's the thing.
And the genetic.
Yeah. When you were in your 20s, you didn't want you to have any children coming up. About it. Now that you're over 60, it's kind of like.
Yeah, I was always using the
I have 8 children.
I was always using
that I know of.
I was always using the what was it, the moon method, Yeah, so that was back in the days when it was all just kind of wild and free,
Yeah. Hey, so anyway, we always talk to you about your week before we get to Susan's poem. Anything happening that we need to know about?
Well, yeah, I took an adventure.
Andy is also a director of theater.
Mm-hmm.
He's an improvisational instructor, and has been doing stand-up for 40 years. And he also has he's also helping a woman from Qatar.
Yeah, Qatar.
Write a biographically based book. So
no, actually, she wrote a book, and then we're converting it to a play.
Yeah, I knew it was something like that. Anyway, this woman from Qatar, who he is her guide in America.
Yeah.
And
guide, Uber driver. What's the difference, really?
Yeah, personal. Personal.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and to be on the podcast.
Andy's her personal. Yes. Anyway, so let's get to Susan's poem then.
Yes.
All
right. So we're gonna take Andy down. We'll just leave you up here. There we go.
Here we go. President's Day is not the federal holiday's name, but you can celebrate it just the same. Take off today, have cake and a parfait. But February 22nd is George Washington's birthday. Congress switched it to the third Monday in 1885. Can you guess the reason, though you were not alive? The rest of the news is kind of depressing. Navalny's dead. Putin thinks it's a blessing. Is Russia hiding autopsy results that are grim? His body now missing. His wife wants to find him. West Coast, lots of rain. Girl, don't they warn ya? Back-to-back storms are hitting California. So let's talk happy news and talk about weather. Discuss uplifting things that are happy and better. Spring training for baseball, the pitchers reported. That's the off-night poem this week. Hope you feel supported.
All right, that's Susan and her poem. I'll bring Andy back with us.
Hey, good poem.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's always a good poem. All right, let's get the rest of our cast. Now, this next, don't be shocked when we bring our next partner out here because he's not in his usual New York Lower East Side apartment.
He's in a much more expensive place.
Yeah, he's in a much more expensive room now. And
he's a reporter on the scene at the hospital.
Sam Greenfield, yeah, reporting from which hospital are you in, Sam?
Mount Sinai Beth Israel, which is closing in about a month.
Really?
Oh.
Now,
It's
why
one
are
of
they
the big. It's one because the realtors made them an offer they couldn't refuse.
Now, where are they going to go?
Probably.
Where are they going to go?
They're closing it.
Closing.
Really?
They're closing.
And the
They're
doctors have all obviously made arrangements to go to
I
other
I think Mount Sinai Beth Israel's attitude is fuck them.
Bring Jason out.
All right.
That's just a guess, but
Can we talk to Sam?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
I want to leave and say hi to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
look, she read her poem. Can we move on for Christ's sake?
I'm going to move down the couch.
All
Get
right.
out of here.
All right. The
All
poem
right,
was
well,
nice.
I'm sure Jason. You know what? I'm sure Jason's got questions for Sam too. So
The poem was nice. There's nothing to fear, but let's hurry up because I have diarrhea.
Hey, look, this is the only time I can talk to you guys. When
Don't
Jason is
worry.
on here, it never happens.
It's
So
going to work
okay.
out in the end, Sam.
I like
All
the way
right.
you pronounce. I like
I'm
the way you
getting up
pronounce
for a
that.
second. It's not a trap,
Yeah,
but
we
Daddy's
understand.
got to get up and take a crap.
Yeah, we know what.
Oh,
He's gonna.
It's not a trap. Go take your crap.
I like the way he pronounced it. Dire rear.
Hope you feel good. and good.
All right, now that he's gone, let's bring Jason out here.
Hi,
Hey, everybody.
Jason.
Hi guys. I don't know if I want to go behind that. I mean,
Don't.
Go behind that.
by the way, nice poet, nice poem. You're part poetess, part Susan St. James. I love it. Working out just great.
Funny. Yeah, very funny.
What? Meanwhile, Mark does the Wile E. Coyote of podcast hosting.
What are you writing?
Hey, by the way, Mark, we got the computer and we got it fired up, and the damn thing bricked in about 30 seconds. And it's like,
Did it?
okay.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm just looking around now. I'm just trying to find a Mac, some sort of a Mac Pro laptop, that isn't ridiculously too terribly expensive. We'll find out, and we'll get that way, and then we can finally start moving in the right direction there. So there you go. So there you go. There's more boring news from really old white people, and we'd like to welcome all of our ethnic listeners. We certainly appreciate them and know that we are down with the brothers. Well, certainly Andy is. I mean, Andy, hello.
He's here.
hi.
Can you hear?
Wait a minute, you're talking to me?
No,
Hi.
You're like Charlie Weaver was in the final years of Hollywood Squares, where he would be answering the questions that were asked several questions before.
Yeah. Oh, it's 1843. Oh, sorry. Something else. Okay.
Well, say hi
Oh,
to President Biden.
Well, I did
for
bring
me.
up 1885 in the poem if you want to fact check that, Mark. But
there we go. Okay.
I am fact checking it because it seemed odd to me because
It's not called President's Day. Federal court has gone back to Washington's birthday, which is today's holiday, which originally was on Washington's birthday. But in 1885, Congress wanted it to be a long weekend. So they all voted for it to be the third Monday of February,
Yeah.
But federally, it does not involve Abraham Lincoln. That's just something that some of the states have chosen to do. So there's your little research on today's holiday that I put in a poem.
Thanks,
It's
Susan.
also when they canceled the Wooden Teeth parade. That was not really.
That was the
Federal
exciting for the
government
kids,
wants
you know.
to call it
Wooden Teeth
how
Parade
it's
was the
named
best
in
gay
the
bar of
act.
the 1850s.
Okay, 18. I
there
don't
we
have 18. I don't have 1885. I'm going by my Google search about why Washington's birthday was changed from February 22nd to the third Monday in February. From 1879 until 1970, it was celebrated on February 22nd. Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right.
And wait a minute. When Nixon was president, they passed the Uniform Monday holiday. Moved it to the third Monday in February in 1871. That's when Memorial Day went from May 30th to Monday in May. That's when Columbus Day moved to the second October. I don't know. I guess I can just mute. We're being repeated here.
I guess I can just mute.
It's coming down this way
being
too.
repeated here. So. Oh, it's coming down this way too.
All right, so somebody's
on
on.
it yet. So somebody's on it. Andy. Is that me?
You just low tech.
Mark, do you want to send me an email to my email? Send the thing to my email so I can use my computer. What kind of an email?
I already did. I did that earlier today.
You know, you send the. I already did. I did that earlier. Really? I didn't see it. Couldn't find it. Let me try to find it. Maybe that'll help. Let me go to the old board.
Let me check my email. I'll give you the exact time that I sent. Let me check my email. I'll give you the exact time. Save all my email. Save all my email.
All right. What time?
You know, when I die,
I found it. Okay.
When I die, purgatory. When I die, this is what they're going to be playing for me. You know that, right?
What's that?
All of this. When I'm in purgatory, they're just going to make me watch this over and over and over again.
Oh my God!
And I'm going to be like, how many times do I have to watch it? And they're going to be like, every time you went to the adult bookstore and masturbated back in the quarter movie section, and it's going to be like, oh boy, I'm going to be here a long, long time.
Okay, so how is this?
Am I gonna take it? Now am I gonna take it?
How is it?
Oh, you did it. Okay,
there you are.
Right, so how does it sound now?
Sounds much better.
Great. Yeah.
Okay.
We don't have the repeat and the echo anymore. So that's
excellent.
Good.
Excellent.
Andy was doing it with his mind.
Yeah, and
see?
Sam.
So I was saying that we have 200 tapes of an hour long, but we'll probably only play out for 60 minutes because most of it will be, talking about,
quit
the
talking about
problems we have with
the Jew
doing
is
this.
back.
That's true. That's true.
Well, the good news is my poop isn't runny anymore.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you find the Army Man?
I don't. Well, it depends, unless you count dribbly as being runny.
Why can't basketball players have babies?
Why?
Because they dribble before
they shoot. Okay. All right.
Wow.
Okay, now,
yes.
on a less serious but more substantive note,
Yes.
I've made a decision to stop watching Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Really?
Ooh,
what are you doing
what happened?
now?
I find the supporting characters, I don't mean Susie Essman and Jeff Garlin, none of the guest star people, like this girl who's an influencer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I find her so horrendously obnoxious. And so I can't watch her. I want to punch her in the face. I cannot watch her.
Didn't you guys know Larry David way back in the day?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I knew him.
I was there when he coined Curb Your Enthusiasm.
You're kidding. Oh,
no, he was performing at the Village Gate, which is essentially a jazz club, but they did stand up.
Right.
He got so mad. There were these 4 Latino kids. I don't know why they were there. I have no idea that they were there. They were talking, not loudly, but they were talking. They weren't paying attention. And He got so many. He stomped his foot. And yeah, go ahead.
No, go. I'm
and he and he said, "Curb your enthusiasm." And he said, "Here, let me spell that for you. BLOWME." He was famous for walking off stage. Famous for it.
How old was the man back then? Like 20s?
Say again?
How old was the dude back then?
How old was he?
Yeah, he was in his 20s.
Yeah, he was in his 20s.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, you remember he played Curly. He played Larry in Fridays.
Yo, you're kidding me.
Oh, no. Yeah, he had gotten, wasn't he like the last one cut, or maybe I think he wrote one year on SNL. And then
the character of George. Oh no, was it George? Yeah, the character of George, I think it was George, who quit the show and shows up the next day as if it hadn't happened.
Yeah, that's on Seinfeld. Yeah, that was Larry David. Yeah.
That was Larry David.
Yeah.
He did that, and he got away with it.
Well, talented people, they're temperamental. What are you going to do?
Listen, I have nothing but respect for him. And one of the things I really respect for him, I thought he was crazy to do it, but I think I told you this. When Seinfeld first came on, it was on Wednesdays, and they were getting killed in the ratings. Killed.
Yeah. They moved
so
to
NBC
Thursday.
moved it to Thursdays. Right after Cheers, and their ratings went through the roof.
Right.
And Larry was like, "No, fuck this. We either rise or fall." And Jerry said, "I'll smother you with a pillow."
So, I mean, what was like Larry David the guy who was writing for Seinfeld for years?
Yes.
Or okay.
Oh, for years? No.
Yeah, I mean, I just was curious how that worked out because
they were friends.
They were just friends. They were just friends. They were friends like Sam and I are. You work together.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the community is great. There's a guy I worked with, Tommy Gooch from Staten Island. Tommy Gooch, and I had never worked with him before. We're lifelong friends now. I mean,
see, here's the thing.
It's amazing what happens when you do stand-up sets with somebody.
When trying to remember this now. When he when Larry this is it. He went on to he hired all the writers for the first couple of years for Seinfeld. Steve Scrovan, I don't remember, John Heyman, and a couple of other people who it's not important because I think only Mark knows who they are, so I don't want to belabor this. So after the third season, I think it was the third season, Jerry said, "Okay, we've used your friends. Now we're going to use mine." And they swept them out. And it was Carol Leifer.
Yep.
And I just don't remember who else. Maybe you do.
She does stand up. Or did.
Yeah.
Didn't Carol Leifer do stand up?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
in fact, when I heard your wife say, "I don't have any kids, at least none that I know of," that's her line.
That is Carol's line.
Yes, it is her line. Yeah.
In fact, they just had. I just saw at the Beacon. Who was at the Beacon? But anyway, I think Jerry and Carol did a show at the Beacon recently. Jerry and Carol.
He's very loyal to his friends.
Yeah. Mark Schiff wrote for them for a season or two.
Yes.
Didn't he? I thought he did. And trying to think of who else. Did Jeff Stilson write for them? Oh no, that was
no.
So is that? But that show Seinfeld, was that shot out in California?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
In fact, Seinfeld said, "The second this show ends, I'm on the red eye to New York, and I'm never coming back." And that's what he did. That's what he did. Deborah Metzing did the same thing with Will and Grace. The second that show ended, gone from L.A.
Back to New York, yeah.
Yeah, because I do remember Seinfeld and Shandling going back to one of the comedy clubs it was like comedians in cars, and they went back to the Comedy Store.
Yeah, Comedy Store.
And yes, and they which again, California location. And I'm just curious, because I remember the first time I see Seinfeld is on one of the Rodney Dangerfield specials, which at the time for HBO, if you didn't make Carson, if you made the Rodney Dangerfield special, your career again,
That was a big deal.
That was
Yeah,
a big,
it was
It was
deal.
a very big
Sam
deal.
Kinison did that.
That
Sam
launched
Kinison did
that launched Kennison. That
Andrew
launched
Dice Clay,
Robert Schimmel.
yes.
That launched
Jerry
what's his name?
Seinfeld.
No, the other kid that did SNL. Can't think of his name now. The short blonde kid, David
Spade.
He launched David Spade, Robert Schneider.
Right.
Did you hear? The great line David Spade had is so funny. He said, you know, Jeffrey Epstein tried to hang himself, but he couldn't get a Girl Scout to do the knot.
Ah!
Well, not a lot of love for Mr.
You know,
Epstein.
you're not working clubs now, Sam, but when you do a joke like that in a club, you don't get everybody laughing. You get some people moaning or booing. So every comic now's got to, oh, come on, it's just jokes. Am I right, people? You got to go to the.
Oh, I don't do that at all. You know what I do?
What?
I go, I hear your disapproval, and please understand this from the bottom of my heart. I couldn't possibly give less of a shit.
Except tonight when you're giving plenty for
our giving shit. Are you kidding? I'm the king of shit.
Yeah.
And I'd like to announce it again.
Yeah.
Not runny.
Yeah.
Sam is redefining giving a shit right now.
Well,
that's right. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Endured the trauma of going into the medical system literally for the first time since 1999.
I have great doctors here. I'm so lucky.
Well, that's why it's surprised. It's surprised that hospital's famous. That's why I'm surprised.
Yeah, that's what I thought. When you said Sinai, I'm like, well, okay, great, best hospital.
Gimbals went out of business.
No, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Once we lost Gimbals, it's over.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks went out of business.
Sinai in LA, you can still go there.
You know, the Tigers went out of it. Sorry.
We still got a Sinai in Detroit.
Yep.
A cyanide?
Yeah,
No, Sinai. So we have a Sinai hospital in Detroit.
Not cyanide. No, but cyanide.
I gave a girl the stink eye once. I don't know if that's the same thing.
In fact, I had one of my foot surgeries back in 2014 at Sinai in Detroit.
You know something? I was watching what's that thing with Elliot Page or Ellen Page?
Oh God.
What's that movie?
She only made one that was worth watching.
The only one I know is Juno. Did she?
That's it.
You know?
And I'm watching that movie when she's kissing Michael Cera.
Yeah.
At the end.
Uh-huh.
I felt nothing. I felt no connection.
Right.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Well, you did, apparently.
Yeah, well, you know. I said, God, she kisses like a buh.
Well, you know, again, that don't get me started. As a decidedly gay man, I see this whole thing as nothing more than a medically based jihad against young gay people. But time will tell whether I'm correct or not in that particular realm. I
understand how you feel, but if that's her true nature, and she's got the money to do something about it,
as an adult, she may do whatever she chooses.
Well, she did do
the money. And that's fine with her, but the problem that I have is so much of this is filtering down into the youth culture. Much like when you had steroids in sports, you had so many kids getting onto steroids because you had to do it in junior high and in high school if you wanted to make it into college and pros. It does have external effects. It does leach out further than just the simple individual or the single individual. She wants to do it. I could care less. And people, but you remember Linda Hunt playing a man?
Sure.
In Year of Living Dangerously?
Yeah, she was brilliant.
Well, by the way. Yeah, exactly. I mean, a brilliant actress. I mean, she can play a man.
She played Billy.
I mean, what about the one movie? Well, I mean, shit. The one movie where the guy is a gangster and he falls for the drag queen and
Victor Victoria.
No, not that one, which was a great movie. That was one of Robert Preston's last movies where he just absolutely lit up the screen.
Yeah.
Which one are you talking about?
Well, the another one that came out, it was a British film, and the guy is a gangster on the run and he's hiding out, and he kind of falls in love with what he thinks is a woman.
The
turns out
Crying
to be a
Game?
man. Crying
Yeah.
Game. Thank you. Yes.
He wasn't a gangster. He wasn't a gangster, was he?
I thought he was a gangster.
No.
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 Okay.
No.
well,
No.
He was a
well,
wankster.
He was
I
a
stand
wankster.
corrected.
General's like
The
guy.
main protagonist of a somewhat disputed occupation falls in love with a
Mr.
drag
Davidson.
queen. Yes, I mean, but
Jay
we had,
Davidson, yeah.
you go going all the way back
had
to
that,
Mick
he had
Jagger and
that role, and he had
performance.
Dune, the original Dune, and that was it. That was his
Yeah.
career.
Well, what
He was in another movie, though.
I can't think of the other. What is it? I didn't see the other
He
movie.
played like an evil sorcerer kind of thing.
Wasn't that
Sorceress.
Wasn't that Dune? wasn't that Dune where he played that sorcerer?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Well, you know what I got? I got Google right here, so we're gonna find out.
I got
Oh, my
Google. I got
Google. I got Google. Who could
Who
ask
could ask
for
for anything more?
Of course, as you kneel at the altar of your techno Satan, yes.
Oh
ask
my
it all the
God.
Oh, listen.
Oh my God. This TV is tuned to The Bachelor. I made a life kid. Oh God,
No.
please kill me now. Oh shit. Oh, say
Okay,
goodbye, girls.
Oh, you know what? It was not Dune. I was mistaken. He did only do 2 films, but it wasn't Dune. It was Stargate,
That's
Yeah.
it.
which
Yeah.
is very, very similar theme to Dune. But
I thought
Yeah,
it was well
He
received.
played the prince.
yes,
I thought it was well
Or the
received.
Queen.
yeah, it was.
It was well received.
Movie was good.
I mean, look at David Bowie's career. Look, Mick Jagger. I mean, these guys, again, not in movies, of course. Well, I mean, I don't know. Mick Jagger in performance is definitely playing a rather androgynous
Ned
character.
Kelly.
With an "I'll fuck anyone" kind of bent to them, and Bowie, who was a brilliant actor when you gave him a chance.
It's a walk-off.
He was in Last Temptation of Christ, where he plays Pontius Pilate. He doesn't, and it's not a big part. It's about 8-9 lines, but he's up against Willem Dafoe, and he steals the scene. Right? He steals the scene from Willem Dafoe, who's playing Jesus. And that's
Jay Davidson is not a Brit.
really.
His mother's a Brit, which is probably how he got the accent.
Mm.
But he was born in Riverside, California.
Ooh, Riverside.
There you go.
Wow, that's as redneck as you can get.
That sure is. Well, Bakersfield.
Oh, Bakersfield.
No, well,
Little more
Bakersfield
redneck
is the
than-
Alabama of California.
I
Oh,
gotta
it
ask
absolutely
you,
is.
Did you guys get to play Bakersfield? Was there a
I
comedy
played
club out there?
Bakersfield when I lived out there.
How about Barstow? Did you make it down to that level of
Barstow. No,
Satan's-
I've driven through
But no,
Barstow,
but
but I never did a performance there.
but the Air Force Base, just Edwards Air Force
Okay.
Base on the way to
Edwards, yeah.
Barstow. Yeah, I did play there. I never
Wow.
made it to Barstow though.
That is so Spinal Tap, because there's a scene in Spinal Tap where they're playing the Air Force Base, and I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be Edwards.
Oh, I'm sure it was. I mean,
Yeah.
what's his name? Rob Reiner doesn't go very far from L.A. to shoot
I can
his
imagine. I always assumed that movie was Christopher Guest, but you're right. It's Rob Reiner, it's when I first saw that movie with a couple of friends of mine, I knew it was a send-up because I had seen some interviews, but my pals were like, "Who is this band?"
I thought Guest directed it.
No,
it was Rob
it was a
Reiner.
Rob. It was This is Spinal Tap was a Rob Reiner film.
After that, Christopher Guest took off with Waiting for Guffman,
Yes,
which again
yes.
is just every scene is brilliant.
Best
Fred
in
Ward,
show.
Best
Yeah.
in
Best in
Show,
Show.
And then
Mighty
he fell
Man.
to shit because For Your Consideration was terrible.
Yeah, well, Reiner only did that first one, but those other
Wait a minute. You didn't
other
like
guys
the
did,
Winds?
Huh?
You didn't like the Winds about
Mighty
the
Wind.
I sure
The
did. A
Mighty
Mighty Wind.
Mighty-
yeah.
It's
That-
blowing
that-
peace and freedom now. It's
with
blowing you and me.
Eugene, Eugene
How about
Levy
the one?
playing
Was it Purim?
What?
It was Purim with
Purim?
Yeah, it's about doing a movie, and what's her name is up for an Oscar, so she's going crazy. But it was called Purim, like it's a Jewish holiday of some
Yeah,
sort.
it's a Jewish Halloween.
Yeah, so it's like the Road to Purim or something like that. But it's it has the girl, the woman from Second City in there,
Catherine
that
O'Hara.
one.
Catherine O'Hara, And actually, she was nominated for it.
If you listen carefully, you can hear a crazy lady down the hall singing, "I need to get the fuck out of here." Can you hear
Name
that?
a bad movie Catherine O'Hara did.
I can't.
It's hard to think about. See, that to me, that's a sign that you're well respected. That
they wouldn't offer you a bad script.
Yeah, or you're able to turn down. In other words, you know that a good one's going to come along. Again.
Well, you're always able to turn it down.
What's that?
You're always able to turn it down, but.
Oh yeah, I know, but
I am so lucky.
You guys saw Schitt's Creek, right?
Right.
I've not seen that yet.
That was really called
it's worth a watch.
Oh, it's worth a watch. It's about.
God, I am so lucky.
Brilliantly written, absolutely brilliantly written, and the acting is fantastic. It was like they wrote an arc where they actually learned from their mistakes. So each year,
yes,
it became more and more of like you're on their side, and he did a brilliant job of incorporating gay people into the show, because it wasn't about gay people. It was about them being treated as people in the society. It was fun. It was a great show.
It was a great show.
Well, that's the way Northern Exposure was for the first 2 seasons. After that,
I tried to watch it again. It's horrible.
Really?
What, Northern Exposure?
Northern Exposure. You can watch it. There's episodes
not aged well.
It doesn't age very well. No.
Well, you talk about a cast that dropped off the face of the earth.
Oh my God! Yes.
Yeah, I mean
that. Norbert, what was his name? Norbert, John Norbert or whatever.
Well, the only one I remember, Ralph Cullum.
Yeah.
Who's a Tony Award winning, and what was her name?
Barry Corbin was in it.
Gardner.
Barry Corbin was wonderful.
Yep.
Gene Gardner.
And what was the? Please forgive me, Susan. Who's the chick?
Janine
or Gene Gardner.
Janine Turner.
The pilot.
Turner. That was
Turner,
it. Jeannie Turner.
The one who played the pilot.
Yes.
God,
and whatever became of her?
Well, if you want to support George Bush and you're in Hollywood, you can do that. You can absolutely do that, but you can't talk about it.
No, you're not gonna. It's not gonna work out for you.
In fact, you can say, "Well, it's just at the Republican convention." That's fine, but if you say something like, "Are you really kidding me? You like him? You're out of your." You know who learned that lesson or didn't learn that lesson? Robert Davi. Remember him?
Yes. Does a great Sinatra impression too.
He played the lead FBI man in the helicopter in Die Hard.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And could do a villain just by standing there.
And what happened? Well, his acne has creases of activity.
Oh.
All right. Janine Turner did Northern Exposure. Then she did a movie with Sly Stallone called Cliffhanger.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, that was a good movie. And then things started going bad for her.
Oh dear.
She became 30.
She did a movie called Stolen Women Captured Hearts.
Oh wow!
Wow, that's a Hallmark thing, right?
I tell you what, they're showing the poster in IDBM, and there's a shirtless man with his arm around her, and he's got the one Indian squaw feather.
Oh God!
All right,
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, and that's me talking.
The next bomb that she was in was called A Secret Affair.
Do you know how funny that was? What you just said. The next bomb.
Okay, Sam. So I'm your agent. You're Janine Turner. Hey, Janine, listen. You need a little boost in the arm. Career ain't.
Now here's one I knew. Her agent told her this is gonna bring you back, Janine. I swear. We got this one for you. She did a film in '97 called Leave It to Beaver.
Yes, with Jeffrey McDonald.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God.
I'm ashamed that I know that.
She was in a TV show called Strong Medicine, probably the only medical show that went 7 years that I never heard of.
Probably she was taking it to get through it.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be doing mainly 3 and 5 and unders if you're lucky, but it does pay a weekly scale.
I'm a hospital veteran. I know Strong Medicine.
She did a straight to video film called Taking the Reins, or that was
it sounds kind of S&M-ish.
It does, doesn't it?
At what point do you get to her OnlyFans page?
Oh, wait a minute. I take it back. She did have something going for her. When was this in the order here? Yeah, before Cliffhanger, during the time she was doing Northern Exposure, she did Steel Magnolias,
Oh, that's
Okay.
right.
Oh.
All right.
The TV show or the movie?
the movie.
Yeah.
There was a TV show for Steel
Yeah, and then the
Magnolias?
year after that, she did a movie called The Ambulance. Well, what does that tell you? You know,
Ugh.
there's some agency or management problem. Oh, she was in Monkey Shines. I didn't know
Does
that.
it? Does
Listen,
anyone
Janine,
remember?
in ambulance, all you have to do, 30 seconds, you get $5,000. Lay under an ambulance. Well, what happens then? I can't guarantee
You
anything.
did mention
but
$30,000 though, right? So I mean, that yeah, we can do that. You know, I mean,
All right,
anyone
last-
remember
her
Mother Drugs and
all the
Speed?
rest, everything is after 2006. Everything is TV credits. So her last movie credit, you'll understand why everything was TV after this one. Her last movie credits was Miracle Dogs 2.
you know the worst thing about that? She didn't have the pull to make Miracle Dogs 1.
Look, if we make enough money and we do it 2, you're in, honey.
But yeah, exactly.
In her defense,
Yes.
she's a working actress.
You know what?
Well,
Looked at all these-
okay.
She was on a hit TV series for 8 years.
Yeah, and I tell you what, if she made 50 for all these things that she's done, if she made $200,000-$300,000 a year for all this stuff, because she does more than one a year.
Right. She
I
could
mean,
be a little
she's making-
choosier.
Yeah, she's making a decent living. It's better than a real job, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
And the
you know,
reason you know that is she doesn't have to get up every morning and go to work.
although, again, Barry Corbin had a had a short scene at the end of No Country for Old Men, where again he plays against Tommy Lee Jones and just gives a hell of a bit of dialogue, playing the cousin who's in the wheelchair, and he's not even recognizable, but yet once you listen to the voice, you go, oh my God, that's Barry Corbin.
The best scene in No Country
Wonderful bit of dialogue.
is the one where he's talking to the guy behind the counter.
Yes.
And the guy's driving him nuts.
Yes.
And he can't kill him.
Yeah. Because
And it just, well, sir, when you say that, never mind.
Oh well, Javier Bardem said that the one thing about that role was the haircut was half the character, and I remember Lee Marvin saying something like that in one of the later interviews of his life. He's going, half the job is just getting the right rags on the actor. If you do that, you've got it, and certainly Marvin understood that. You look at the way he's dressed in Point Blank. Mm-hmm. I mean, that movie gets a little more credit than maybe it should. But it's definitely sort of that Lee Marvin vehicle, for him. A great movie, and not too bad for a guy who was a Marine who got shot in the butt and came back and really didn't know what he wanted to do with life. Saw Shakespeare in the Park, and became one hell of an actor.
Who is Bardem married to?
Oh God,
we're gonna find out.
She's an Oscar winner for Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
Javier Bardem's wife. Huh. Here we go.
She's also Spanish.
Penelope Cruz.
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
Yeah, baby.
Did you ever see Vanilla Sky with her and Tom Cruise?
No.
And Pablo Cruz.
What a freaky film, man.
Well, isn't that what's his name?
Vanilla Sky.
Yeah, who did that?
Who?
Yeah, who directed Vanilla Sky? I can't remember.
We're gonna find out. I'm on the Penelope Cruz page.
Mark is on it.
Link. Yeah, I'm on it. Yeah, but it's on my phone, so it's slow. So let me get. Hold on. We're getting there.
One more thing about Northern Exposure. It's the secondary characters that made that show go.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all
it was at a time though when television was changing, when Hill Street Blues had come in the early '80s and showed that an ensemble cast and writing with a little bit more sophistication was something that was doable. Mm-hmm. That and before then it was Well, what really kicks down the door, and it comes around almost at the same time, was the first run of Twin Peaks, because no one had ever seen anything like Twin Peaks on American television.
Oh yeah.
And those of us who understood Lynch's work, who had seen everything from Eraserhead, Dune, Elephant Man, the one with Kyle MacLachlan, and oh gosh, why can't I remember that one? God, what a great movie! And Dennis Hopper, where Dennis Hopper plays the freaked out DEA
Blue Velvet.
agent.
Blue Velvet.
Yes, Blue Velvet. And Bobby. Oh no, that was who was the singer in that? They kept
Isabella Rossellini.
Yes. Oh God. Oh and yeah, him with the nitrous oxygen mask. And,
Yeah. He asked David Lynch, what am I inhaling? And Lynch said, anything you want it to be.
No, actually, Lynch wanted him to inhale helium.
Really?
He wanted him to inhale helium.
I'm gonna kick the shit out of you.
Yeah, and then
I'm gonna be your worst
Hopper
nightmare.
Exactly. Hopper said, no, that'll make it too comical.
Yeah.
He's right.
Vanilla Sky, written, directed, and produced by Cameron Crowe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who used to be married to Nancy Wilson.
Yeah.
That makes sense. He started out as a writer for Rolling Stone when he was like 12. I mean,
Yeah.
I think he was 14, but you're right.
Yes, that was my point. I was,
I could tell Twin Peaks was good because my mom would actually watch it.
Well, again, it was.
She always terrified me sometimes with the stuff that she did get into. So
it had that prismatic effect. Everyone who looked at it could see it through different wavelengths, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in certain respects, it was very surreal. In other respects, of course, it was super normal. Peggy Lipton, it's her last turn before the cameras. When she's just playing the kindly lady behind the counter at everyone's favorite cafe, with great coffee and pie.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have what's his name is the freaked out truck driver who we never really know much about, except that he's a psycho married to the waitress. Remember, he's married to Shelley, the waitress, and he's like, "No, Shelley, from now on you smoke only one kind of cigarette. If I find another different kind of cigarette in here." That was like it was.
Don't these people realize I'm trapped? Now I'm watching America's Got Talent.
No.
God,
no.
Please, somebody. Oh, please! This is so wrong.
We'll get you some coffee. Black as midnight and a moonlight.
I can't drink caffeinated coffee anymore.
We'll get you some coffee. It'll be black as midnight and a moonless night.
No, you remember Tommy Sledge?
I do.
I strolled into a cafe and I ordered a cup of Joe. This guy, for those of you who don't know, he was like a film noir thing. There'd be like fog coming out and all this. He goes, I like my coffee like I like my women.
Hot, black,
big
and strong.
tits.
I met him at the Comedy Connection in Boston. Nice
guy.
Yeah, he was all right. And then I worked with him a couple times at the Improv, but I first saw him in Boston.
There was a guy who booked acts in Boston, Billy Downs.
I remember Billy. Yep.
Who was so bad at paying people. His nickname was No Money Downs. and Greg Fitzgerald, Fitzsimmons or Fitzgerald? Fitzsimmons.
Yeah, Fitzsimmons.
Who was very nice. When Barbara was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, he sent her a dozen roses.
Aw.
That was very sweet of him. A lot of people sent her flowers. I stole them, but that's not important. I have needs too. Anyway,
Sam just buys a bunch of small cards that he can replace on the flowers.
Exactly. Oh, look.
Hey,
isn't that thoughtful?
The cemetery. They weren't going to miss him. I mean, what can I say? It looks like Don Corleone just been dropped off there. So yeah, we picked up a few, a couple long stand.
All right, now somebody's brought up Don Corleone again. I got to answer. We got all four of you here.
Yes.
Who has not seen The Offer?
That would be me. I have not seen The Offer.
You got it. It's only 8.
I know. I got to see it.
It's only 8 episodes. You got to see The Offer.
Crying out loud.
Yeah.
Is it Apple TV?
What's that?
Is it Apple TV?
It's Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus.
All right.
It's a
Well,
Godfather series was a Paramount series, and The Offer is a Paramount film.
You're
so
gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I swear to God, you're gonna love
They
it.
came so close to making so many
Andy and I have been
horrendous.
recommending this. Andy and I have been recommending this series for a year now. It's only one season.
It's not gonna kill you. It's like a British thing, man. Just eight freaking episodes.
Sure, it's great.
You're gonna thank us.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
If I have to thank you, then
I know this. I know that tone.
if I have to thank you, I don't want to get involved.
As punishment, I'll go out to the truck stop and hang out with the. Well, never mind. That's not really punishment.
Not necessary.
No.
But thanks for the offer.
No, we'll find another way to atone for my sins. Yeah. I mean, as it is, I'm working my way.
Punishment for you is to go to Sundays over at the First United Methodist and hang out with the other alcoholics. There you go.
How do you know that you're in the doghouse with your wife? When you call your house and she doesn't say, "When are you coming home?" Your daughter does. She doesn't.
Oh God.
Well, you know.
Did anybody take you to the hospital, or did you take yourself to the hospital?
Lyft.
You took a lift?
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well,
that's always the great runs. Hey, I'm dying. When did you get an ambulance for God's sake? You're gonna save your life here? I'm
dying. Could you take me?
That damn ambulance.
And I don't mean to make you drive faster than normal, but I do have explosive diarrhea. Just saying.
Just saying.
And this entire place could be a new shade of blue. Listen, but here's what you know what happened. They sent an ambulance, but the ambulance, and this is so fucked up. The ambulance said, "Well, we're not going to Mount Sinai. Our route only takes us to another hospital." I said, "I'm not going to any hospital but Mount Sinai." And Barbara said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Let me say it again. I'm not going to any hospital that does not have Dr. Rappaport."
There you go. You know what? You can do that too because you got Medicare.
That's right. I am not going to any hospital that does not have Dr. Rappaport. It's that simple.
Nice. Well, at least you get to see a real doctor.
I appreciate you taking this stuff, but it always sends a chill up my spine when I hear somebody says, "Don't step on my colostomy bag," you know? Hey,
that sounds like a Ren and Stimpy song.
For all the years I've been on Grindr, that's the one thing I've never heard, and certainly I would never use.
I think you're lying.
Okay, maybe a little, but
okay.
But
hey, I had a woman in a wheelchair. She had a urine bag and a colostomy bag. So
wow.
I had a woman in a wheelchair, and I don't want to talk about it.
They were full. Okay,
well,
so
let's
talk about fun bags.
Oh, no. That's hysterical.
You are going to hell, sir. You are going to be Satan's plaything. You're going to the Hitler Lounge.
Yeah, but I'm a Jew. We put in air conditioning.
Can I put that in my promotional flyer?
I'm the god of hellfire.
Yeah. I got a physician's assistant who had all the charisma of somewhere between Irma Grease and Nurse Ratched.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and I just she said I'm a physician's assistant, and I was so close to.
Oh, that was very funny what you wrote.
So was Igor.
That was very, very funny what you wrote.
Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, but that's life. And then they say you need to go down and get your blood drawn. And I go down to this small, sad room that looks like the sort of room people go to take their dog to be euthanized. And instead of 3 or 4 people, there's a dozen wheezing individuals. And I'm like, fuck this. I'd rather go see Dr. Dracula, who at least would know how to extract blood properly. I don't know. I mean, I got some blood pressure medication. I don't know if I'm going to start taking it or not. I suppose I should do something with it.
You should take it.
I know.
On the show.
I know. I mean,
do you smoke? Do any of you smoke?
No.
Bag on
Well, just dick. But I mean, yeah. I mean,
that's not.
Yeah,
well, it depends.
Yeah, I mean,
do you inhale?
Yeah.
I guess it depends if you inhale.
Well, no, I do not smoke tobacco. It killed both my parents and killed them dead. My mom was 54 and my dad was barely 65. So.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact, we're just coming. They died almost to the day 5 years apart from one another. And I could just hear my mother from beyond the grave saying, "What do you mean he's dying and coming up here?" I finally got away from that man for a little while. She did insist that we take her ashes and splash it on his truck so that she could haunt it from beyond the grave.
Do you remember 6 Feet Under?
Yeah.
This guy gets killed by an outboard motor blade that kills him.
Yeah.
And Harriet Baker Sampson plays his widow.
Yeah.
And she stands there before the casket and she says, "It's closed." But she says, "I just need a moment to say goodbye to him." And he says, "Okay." And she stands there and goes, "Ted, I hope you fucking rot in hell, you cocksucker, you cheating piece of shit. I'm sorry I didn't kill you twice. Fuck you. Fuck you."
Yeah,
She goes,
yeah.
"That's it for me."
Yeah, that's enough. That's
Well, do you remember Alan King talking about his parents and saying it wasn't love that kept them together, it was hate?
Who said that?
Alan
King. It was a great routine that he used to do. What do you mean it was love? It was hate.
Well, you know, in King's about 10 years older than me, but in those days, people didn't get divorced.
Well, that's what he was saying. You know, that I'm not going to let you get divorced. Are you kidding? You're not getting away from me.
Well, the only it was if you were a religious Jew, which was everybody at the time,
right?
Okay, the only way you could get a divorce was to go to the Jewish council, and get something called a get.
Yes,
it was a Jewish divorce.
You had to get a get. Yep.
You had to get a get, and when I
from
and
Sopranos, first season.
it was very difficult to get one, very difficult. Because if the husband gave you a hard time, you're screwed. And I have a friend whose husband was just the laziest, good for nothing. He didn't beat her or anything, but the laziest, good for nothing. Oh, what a dick. And she walked up to him and she said, "I'm getting a divorce. I'm going to a civil courts lawyer and I'm getting a divorce." "Well, you have to get a get." "I will not do that. And the divorce will be final. And I would rather die than be with you for another 10 seconds. So you have a choice. You can sign this, or you can watch me leave. I don't need a get to divorce you." And she says, "Oh, really?" And she pulls out, this is a friend of mine, she pulls out the decree and she goes, "Really? Now sign it." And about 2 days later, this guy, just a schlub, a lazy, good for nothing. He's walking down the street and this guy goes, "Harold," is that not a perfect name for a schlub? "Harold, you don't know me, do you? I'm David Cohen. I'm the guy who was going to beat the living shit out of you if you didn't divorce Debbie. Thank you for coming to your senses."
That was one of the side plots in The Sopranos in the first season, where the services of the Italian family were hired because one of the guys wouldn't give a divorce to the guy who owns a seedy motel. And the guy who plays Maury is the same guy who played I think it was Maury. He was the same character who played the loan shark and toupee entrepreneur in Goodfellas. That was his last role, but he's kind of hard to recognize because he's in the full black, you know, with the hat and the whole heavy coat and the locks and everything.
You know what I remember about that episode?
What's that?
Gandolfini grabs the guy and goes, you know, he's got a big beard and he's got the hair. He goes, "Look here, ZZ Top."
Well, I like one of them saying, "I don't know whether we should kill this guy or offer him a job," because you know they're beating the hell out of him, and he's like, "Fuck you." I know. I paid for her new tits when she wanted to go to Israel. I paid for the trip. What, I should walk away with nothing? You know, I'm like, hell. You know.
Bob Dishy.
Is that Bob, who it was?
Yeah.
Bob Dishy.
Oh God. Well,
not Dishy, but Bob.
That first season of The Sopranos, again, talk about groundbreaking television or whatever you want to call it, was just, and they didn't know if they would even, you know, they got the first episode sold and everyone's like, I don't know, but it worked out for them. They're okay. They did all right.
I auditioned I auditioned for the part. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Yeah.
I auditioned for the part of the car dealer at the executive game,
Yes, which you would have been great in.
and the casting director, Georgianne Walken, Christopher Walken's wife, said they really liked you. Man, they liked you, but Paul Mazursky's an old friend of David Chase, and she goes, "Yeah, Mazursky has trouble getting work." What bullshit! And she laughed. She said, "I don't understand." I said, "Yes, you do. They're friends."
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. So I said, "Does the character get killed?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "All right."
Yeah, but he was in.
You know,
He was in
I
a
just want
couple
to
of
mention
episodes.
this. When you said Mazursky, my thing typed up Missouri. So
Well,
what you doing there?
Not quite the same. He
No.
directed a great movie, Bloom in Love.
yes,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
and
That was
even
a
George
great movie.
Segal, Chris Christopherson is still alive.
Do you see a Super Bowl commercial?
you're
No,
kidding. He made a
He's
Super
Oh,
alive.
Bowl
Super Bowl.
commercial?
I liked his Super Bowl commercial. It was for BMW.
It was
Now,
very
Really?
good.
if I'm not mistaken,
I know.
Christopherson is a graduate of West Point.
Huh?
Really?
I believe Christopherson is a graduate of West Point, if I'm not
Oh.
mistaken.
Yes, he is. Yes, he
Yeah.
is. And he makes about $150,000 a year on the royalties from "Help Me Make It Through the Night"
Yeah, that,
Oh.
and I can also imagine what me and
and
Bobby
"Sunday
would
Morning
be.
Coming Down."
God, that's a great song. For
He's
those of
still
us who
alive. I
never,
didn't even know he was still alive. How about that?
well, his
Yep.
career's been dead for years, and he did have
And
to
lives
see
in
Barbara.
Hawaii.
He did have to see Barbara Streisand naked in his version of A Star Is Born.
Can't have everything.
Well, I mean,
Did you know what Frank Santarelli does? He calls me. He goes, "Did you see A Star Is Born? Unbelievable. Chris Christopherson runs into Barbara Streisand. He goes, 'You got a nice ass.' And then he fucks her. What the hell's up with that?" And hangs up. And hangs up.
But I know I've mentioned it previously, but Norman Jewison's production of Jesus Christ Superstar, I've been watching it again lately, and again, that movie is so incredibly well put together, even though it is kind of its time, if you will. But I mean, they shot in Israel, and it just looks amazing, and it's an amazing performance by everyone in the cast. I mean, there's no one second rate in the movie. But it certainly kind of makes a little more sense now than maybe it did back then. Especially when that great line, was Israel in 4 BC had no mass communication. It definitely you can see what sort of the irony that Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice were getting at.
Paul Mazursky, listen to this.
Yep.
Bob and Carol, Ted and Alice.
Great movie.
An Unmarried Woman.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Harry and Tonto.
God, a good movie.
He should have never won the Oscar.
Yeah, but it was still a good movie.
I don't give it. No, I know, but it
Okay.
pisses me off he won.
Well,
Not the
Enemy
same
will-
year.
that was a
Not the same
makeup.
year as Dog Day Afternoon. Sorry.
Yeah, well, that's a makeup. Yeah, it's
Enemies a love story.
Yeah,
Next
Great
stop,
movie. Great
next
movie.
Stop, Next stop, Greenwich Village.
yeah.
With Lenny Baker, who died of AIDS.
Yep.
Ah.
Moscow on the Hudson.
One of my favorite movies ever.
Wow.
God.
Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
God, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Moon over Parador.
Yeah.
With
That was
Richard Dreyfuss and his
Dreyfuss.
brother Lorne.
Yeah. That was a good film.
And Scenes from a Mall.
That one was actually
That
better
wasn't too
than
bad.
you
That
might
was
think.
that was Woody Allen.
Woody Allen and
Midler.
Bette Midler, yeah.
Yeah, God.
That was a Mazursky film.
Wow.
Oh,
So-
God.
He wrote that one too.
Who directed that really incredibly black comedy? Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, where they were the couple that was trying to
Fritzy's
divorce.
Honor.
No,
War of the Roses.
Or the Roses.
Yeah, exactly.
Fritzy's
Danny
Honor and
DeVito.
Offer.
Oh God! Again, what an incredibly dark.
My
80s.
favorite line in that movie is Kathleen Turner going, "Woof, woof, 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 woof."
Yes, yes. Oh, but Michael Douglas with that little figurine going, "Say that it's mine, and you can have it," and she goes, "It's mine," and of course he smashes it. I mean, again, Michael Douglas doesn't get credit for being, I think, as good an actor as he really is.
He doesn't get nearly enough credit.
No, he's a great director.
He's a one.
But
I mean,
he's a great actor.
I mean, when people say that, I go, "Did you see Wall Street? You didn't? Well, then shut up."
Yeah. I mean, and his turn is Liberace, though.
Man,
he did a great job playing Liberace. I mean, and again, Liberace is what, he sees what, on the scale of flaming from 0 to 10.
He's a torch.
Exactly. I mean, it's like you have to have asbestos around your TV set or the whole living room catches on fire, right? But it's real easy to screw that up. It would be real easy to play that just too far over the top.
But that doesn't matter to somebody like him. He's he's an actor.
He knew exactly how to play that role and pull it off. I don't know if other people could have done it.
9 o'clock, kids.
He did. Oh dear.
Oh, yeah, it is
dear.
9 o'clock. Oh well, you know what that means.
Sam, you get better, man.
Better hit
I'll
the
do my best. I just took it down, and the doctor said there's a little blood in your stool. I said, "What's that from?" He goes, "Well, it's from your ass being irritated." I said, "Well, my ass is grumpy."
Well, that's it, guys. That's our hour.
Thank you very much, Jason.
You guys take it easy, man.
Good to see everyone. We're here every
Sam, good luck.
Little warning. March 25th. I got a show, so we'll have.
Most people get the runs. They're out of it in a day. Not Sam.
Hit some Imodium. Start snorting Imodium off a nun's ass.
In March.
Right, well, I'm gonna wrap.
Cheese. I'm just gonna say cheese.
I'm gonna wrap it up for our live audience, and we can talk about all this other stuff after we go on the air. So, good night, everybody. See you next
Good night. God bless you all.
Nice.